Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to read the tips last time. I didn't forget, I purposely didn't read them. 6, right? Watanagashi. The rite of Watanagashi is performed during a village festival every June, even now, but reading back to its origins turns up a serious, Sanguin ceremony. Originally, Watanagashi would happen at fixed intervals, and after receiving Odishida's Sama's trust, they chose a sacrifice. Then the entire village would kidnap, demon away, the person, and ceremoniously dissect and devour them in a feast. The rules that determine the intervals are shrouded in mystery. This is because the ceremonies occurred extremely irregularly. There's a theory that it was determined based on astrological fortune telling, but it isn't too convincing. The residents of ancient Onigaiushi village firmly believe that they were half man, half demon, transcendents, and that they were more valuable than humans were, and they forced people within and without to accept that. Perhaps the act of kidnapping and eating people was done to prove that they were higher on the food chain. This is just a hypothesis, but maybe the rite of Watanagashi was a political event for the purpose either being an outlet for or outright diverting the attention of the villagers of the isolated Onigaiushi village. In case of any of their complaints or dissatisfaction grew serious. If that was the main reason these ceremonies were held, then it's easy to explain how erratic they were. That was 6. No, that was 4. IV is 4. VI is 6. The alleged importance of the implements. I can't find anything that gives a concrete description of what the ritual implements were like. They were, however, real, and they were definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. There definitely existed a multitude of different kinds. One source states that the implements used in Watanagashi rites alone number 200. That's a lot. The obvious question then is why they require such a myriad of them. The rite of Watanagashi was to kidnap people through the demoning away, dissect them, and eat them. I believe the tools were for dissection and restraining, but 200 of them is far too many. Generally, tools evolve in such a way as to reach a solution for a certain problem. Once they reach the ultimate goal that is attained a certain level of efficiency, the tool's evolution normally stops there. Regardless, why would they have created so many different kinds? One of the cultural elements responsible for diversification over time is that of entertainment. Tools used for entertainment would evolve over time and branch out. Unlike normal tools, reaching the ultimate goal would be more of a dead end, and in searching for the next goal, they would split into many subtypes. So then, perhaps it's not a stretch to suggest that these 100+ implements and some entertainment had some entertainment value. This is just a hypothesis, of course, but maybe the human dissection process was viewed as a type of entertainment. Three families of old would develop one new implement, dissection tool after another, and each head was varied, novel, and attracted spectators to keep them from going bored. It's not unimaginable. All of them have to be enshrined within the safe house. There isn't much longer until the night of Watanagashi. Though its original intent has been lost, I will reveal the secrets of the traditional ceremonious night within the ritual storehouse. I can't restrain my excitement. Watanagashi can not come soon enough. After the festival. Late that night, tension in the police station was strained. In the silence, many of staff members' eyes shifted back and forth between the clock and their telephones, counting the seconds in that stiff atmosphere. Come, Agura-kun burst in with a young guy tailing behind him. Yoshi-san, I've got the autopsy results. The court, physician just got here. I'm ready to go, sir. I'll head straight for, Gifu. Kuma-chan, things have gotten a bit complicated. They appear to be having a very difficult time determining who the victim is. Hmm? I determined that it's tummy tack. Could they have been dismembered? Nope. Cooked to a nice light brown. Well, that's different. He spoke in supportive tones, but the meaning behind his words was heavy. The staff gave a collective sigh. All the way, head to toe? Completely blackened, it seems. Probably smells terrible too. What a shame it is to be Gifu-san. Cooked without no possessions, then discarded outside the preference. At worst, it would have taken a week for the body to be identified. The fact that they've sniffed it out tonight was huge. Kamiyama-kun and a few others are performing a thorough night raid on the dentist in Okinomiya. All we can do now is hope for a tooth matches some medical records. Sorry, could somebody go buy me 2 or so boxes of Ultimate Mild? The young guy answered in an affirmation and darted out into the hallway. Ultimate Mild. We did an excellent job of finding it this year. It could be that people who disappeared in past years were scattered outside the prefecture like this too. I didn't say that right. Whatever. Alright, then why not bury them or sink them into the Sea of Japan or Lake Biwa or something like that? Why though? Hasn't the pattern so far been one person dies and another person disappears? Kuma-chan, the corpse was inside an oil drum, unrestrained and cooked. Probably burned them after strangling them. They knew it would be found. So what you mean is, from the beginning they didn't want a person to disappear this year? Not so much that not so much that as they aren't related. The person didn't disappear, in fact. Whoever did it seems to have wanted to make a show of it. You mean it could be a warning? He folded his arms, then heaved a long and heavy sigh. So 2 people could disappear. That might have been the case, had it happened in town. If they messed up taking the victim far away and burned them alive, wouldn't have been noticed. If they meant it as a warning, they should have done it closer to Himezawa. They wanted to emphasize the fact that they killed the victim. Instead of doing it somewhere for dramatic effect, they did it outside the preference. Did they want to emphasize it or hide it? Boy, I do wonder what Orishiro-sama is up to this year. A telephone ring cut through the heavy silence. A staff member nearby snatched up the receiver. Ishi-san, it's Kamiyama. They have it. The dental clinic in Okinomiya fixed the wisdom tooth 3 years ago. What about the records? Complete with x-rays. Well, I feel bad for waking up the dentist before dawn. Kuma-chan, get out there as soon as you can and get the records from Kamiyama-kun. Or isn't Kamiyama-kun just Kamiya? Will do. Oh, it's the chief. Thank you for coming out at this hour. Ushi-san, my apologies for my lateness. What's the situation? Well, it's just getting good, you see. We're all getting fired up, how... Whoa. La 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 la. Okay then. Continue. I let out a great big yawn. It was like morning had just arrived just as I got to sleep. As Mom served breakfast, she gave me a pained smile. What's the matter, Kichi? What time did you go to sleep last night? Well, I wanted to go to sleep at midnight, but I had some trouble with that. You were probably all worked out from the festival. No, that's not it. Crunch, crunch. I crunched down hard on the pickled radish to hide my embarrassment. After all that happened yesterday and our discussion about the sounds Shion heard, that banging noise like a child from far away jumping up and down on a wooden floorboard. The story wouldn't get out of my head, so I had trouble sleeping. It was a long night, and I kept jumping at the slightest sound of faraway tree branches, which should have been either unhearable or too insignificant to notice. When I woke up to the morning sunlight and birds chirping, it made me feel pretty ashamed about it, but I felt far more refreshed this morning. Kichi-kun, good morning. Huh? Kichi-kun, your eyes are all red. Why is that? Why? Oh, hey, good morning. I didn't get much sleep last night, so I'm sleep deprived today. Yawn. The festival yesterday was a lot of fun. Venus' excitement took a long time to go to sleep, so I took a long time to go to sleep too, to sleep. In Venus' case, the excitement seemed to have kept her wide awake. There should have been this kind of festival more often, so we can have lots of fun together again. How? Yeah. Rena talking about the festival yesterday made me remember everything I had nearly forgot from last night. What happened last night? You ate food and then the ritual storehouse thing happened. The inside of the ritual storehouse had been so slightly different from the relaxed, bright, everyday life of Himizawa. All those stories that Takano-san told me too. The mysterious incidences that occurred on the day of the Watanagashi festival every year. The strange incidences where one person would die and one would disappear. The old stories of Himizawa flickering like a candle behind them. The numerous and horrifying traditions of Onigaiushi village. The villages with demon blood in them. The terrible cannibalistic feasts. The poor sacrifices kidnapped from human villages. Victims of the Onigaiushi. To quell the rage of Orishiro-sama, the ritual involving living sacrifices. There were also many others. There were so many stories that just remembering them put me in a foul mood. Most of them weren't fiction either, they were true. We didn't need to fear them just because they were real though, since it all happened so long ago. Such a very long time ago. Where's Michan? She's late. Huh? Before I realized it, we had arrived at the place where we usually meet up with Mion. Probably because I was so lost in thought. We agreed that if she wasn't here by now, we can just go ahead, right? Should we? Mion being late wasn't too rare an occurrence, but today she was running unusually late. A few of the ominous tales from the night before came back to life in my mind again. Who would die this year and who would disappear? It couldn't be Mion? What should we do, Kichi-kun? If we don't get going, we'll be late. She'll be here. She didn't call to tell us she would be staying home today, right? Let's just wait 5 more minutes, okay? Rena looked at her watch and seemed a little worried, but then she nodded with a satisfied smile. Wait 5 more minutes, we'd have to run as fast as we can to get to school, we'd be late. As soon as I thought that, we spotted Mion running towards us out of breath. Mi-chan, you're late. Ha. You waited? You should have just gone ahead. Mion was breathing heavily, her face was all red. Her house was right down the road, wasn't it? It wasn't far away for her to end up like this, was it? Huh? Yeah, where was she then? Mi-chan, are you really not feeling well? Huh? Now that she's mentioned it, Rena pushed Mion's bangs away and put her head onto her forehead. Rena, your hand is pretty cold. Mi-chan, you're a little warm. It's no big deal. Give it a half a day and I'll be as fit as a fiddle. Are you really okay? You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Ki-chan, are you worried about me? Ha, that's nice of you. That answer wasn't like Mion at all. She must have had it pretty bad. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. You can tell the teacher you had to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working. Mion forced an energetic expression onto her face and flexed her biceps at us. Okay, then let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time. Wow, we need to run or we won't make it. Ha. This morning sure is thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this slowness. Let's run. Hey, wait. You're sick, don't go overboard. Mion began to run vigorously anyway. Mi-chan is older than us, right? She knows her own body better than anyone. I started to leave it at that and assume she was fine. Great, then we should get going too. We began to run after Mion. School looked the same as always. The hours passed listlessly and my lack of sleep took its toll. If there was a sport where people competed by sleeping, I'd be a world champion by now. The trick to overcoming this sort of dangerous situation was to hold your pencil upside down. Why, you ask? So you don't draw strange patterns all over your notes while half asleep. If you're holding your pencil upside down, that wouldn't happen, would it? Ba-da-ba-dump. Something that felt like an eraser hit me in the head 6 times. Oh, that was bump, not ba-da-ba-dump. Ow, ow. What was that, Satoko? What was that for, Satoko? I haven't done a single thing. We also play a prank on me like this. Or we was chalking on an eraser, eh? Eh? Behind me like a female outlaw might hold razors was teacher's shadow, putting 3 pieces of chalking at each hand. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Barada-kun, go and wash your face. Right. Gladly. That alone was enough to wake me up. I flew out into the hallway as if shoved out by the pressure executed by the teacher's sheer power. Hmm. I was going to wash my face anyway then. I'd rather use the sinks out front rather than the ones in the dark restroom. Thinking that, I left the hallway and went to the entrance. The sunlight was strong. So strong you wouldn't think it was June. I turned the faucet, and with a lifeless bubbling noise, lukewarm water came pouring out. I let it run for a few moments. Would it get cold? I looked at it absent-mindedly for a little while. I knew you would choose these things, Kichan. The ones from front just feel better, don't they? Mion, yawn. No cutting class now. I stuck my hand into the water to find it had gone so cold that it was seemed strange it had ever been warm. I scooped it up and splashed it all against my face. Once I was done, I moved out of the way and Mion did the same. Mion, how is your cold doing? You're sleepy because of the medicine, not from the lack of sleep, right? Hmm? Actually, this is a secret, but after the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And well, I had a bit. A bit? Made a gesture like she was tilting a cup into her mouth, which means she didn't have a cold or anything. Are you hungover? How old are you? Nah, ha 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 ha. Give me a break. I really don't feel well, you know. I suppose you'd be feeling loosey either way. Still, you treat colds and hangovers in completely different ways. I was worried over nothing, man. I guess that's just like you, Mion. Mion scratched her head a little embarrassed. She didn't seem to be feeling well, but now that I knew it was a hangover, I didn't need to worry too much. It would go away, with time after all. Oh, but my head really is pounding, so the teacher told me I should go home early. Heck, you cheater. So are you going home now, Mion? Now that I looked again, Mion had her bag with her. She must have been on her way home. Yep, I feel bad about it though. I'll get some rest at home like a good girl, so I can't make it to the club. Would you take over as the leader for today, Ki-chan? I don't know if that will happen. We have that unspoken rule where we don't do the club unless everyone else is there, don't we? We never did it when you had to go to your part-time jobs, did we? Mian laughed wearily, saying we didn't need to worry about her. No matter how much fun we have, though, I think that feeling guilty about friends who can't share in it is the sign of a really fantastic friendship. In that sense, the club Mian has created is a wonderful thing. As I thought about it, the moisture on my washed face dried up. I suppose we were talking too much. If I didn't get back to the classroom sooner, I could get in trouble. Okay, later, I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a gutter. I left it at that, turned around and started heading back to the classroom. Oh, one more thing, Ki-chan. Mion stopped me and turned my head to listen. What's up? This may sound weird, but don't think about it too hard. Well, that depends on what it is. Your eyes gonna turn blue? Oh, they didn't turn blue. Last night, near the end of the festival, did you see Tommy-san and Takana-san anywhere? I suddenly tensed up. You know Tommy-san and Takana-san, right? You remember, Ki-chan, when the four of you were talking during the setup the day before? If I could, I wanted to forget about sneaking into the storehouse that night as much as possible. So hearing the names of the people I was with at the time really got me. Besides that, though, why was Mia asking me a question like that? I ended up staring at her unable to answer immediately. Was she asking to see if I had seen them or not? Or was she asking the question knowing that I couldn't tell? Or well, maybe. I might have seen them around, I don't know. My vague response was clearly not to Mion's liking. What answer was she expecting from me? There was no way for me to know. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? My heart leapt into my throat again. Tiny needle buried underneath Mion's words pricked me into me. That didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you I wasn't sure if I had or not. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. I suddenly noticed something in Mion's eyes. Something indescribable. Tommy-san and Takana-san. Shion too. She was asking me about them. There's no doubt about it. Last night the four of us snuck into the ritual storehouse. She knew everything. So what? There's not really a curse anyway. That's right. You and Shion and Takana-san said yesterday during the festival that there was no curse. And that rather than a curse it was doing over the villagers. My blood curled. Mion was, almost without a doubt, aware that we snuck into the storehouse. It was nothing strange. Screwed up bad flipping on the light switch last night. If Mion had been searching for me, it was simple to imagine that she had seen the monetary light and come to find out what was going on. You're still lying? Did you really not see her? Or why are you so intent on knowing if I did or not? It's nothing important. It's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tommy-san and Takana-san and Shion and Yuki-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying though. Unpleasant sweat dripped down from my arms, and the sound of it hanging from my fingertips was so annoyingly loud. I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I found myself unable to reply. My reaction must have made it obvious what the truth was, and yet I couldn't explain myself. Ki-chan, you weren't with Tommy-san, Takana-san, or Shion, right? Yeah. Finally wrung out an answer between vague breaths. Yun's expression softened a little. That's good. I'll have to tell them. You weren't involved in anything bad, Ki-chan. I'll make sure to tell everyone. Yeah, please do. Tell them I wasn't doing anything bad. To everyone, make sure everyone. Everyone, who is everyone? Okay, later. I'll be back tomorrow. Bye bye. I guess the elders you went with to drink? Oh, wait, Mian, what do you mean by everyone? This isn't a speech bubble. Well then, not speech bubble, isn't it? Whatever. It doesn't have the right punctuation, so you're not saying it. Just then, a freezing cold hand touched the back of my neck. This is the teacher. Hey, you're late, Mabara-kun. How long does it take to wash your face? It was the teacher. It was taking so long, so she came to get me. I'm sorry. I was just speaking to Mion. I turned around, but Mion had already crossed the schoolyard without me realizing it. I was now standing at the gate. Come back to your studies, quickly now. The teacher was being insistent. We returned to the entrance. I looked back one more time and Mion was nowhere in sight. Hello. Kichi, you haven't seemed well all day. It's clearly because he had far too much fun yesterday. I don't want to be told that by somebody who got lost. Your face was all red and you were nearly crying. Ha 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 ha. Toko was so cute last night. How friends did their best to try and cheer me up, but I didn't lighten my mood. Was it far worse than I thought? Had I really done something that terrible last night? These thoughts remained with me for the rest of the day. Bum, 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 ba-da. Bye, Kichi-kun. I'll see you tomorrow. By the time I realized I was in front of my own house. Mi-chan had a cold, right? I don't think I've seen this frame before. Could you have a cold too, Kichi-kun? Could you? Fine. I may look scrawny, but I've never missed school because of a cold. Both you and Mi-chan didn't look so good today, though. Thanks for worrying about me. I'm fine. Idiots don't catch colds, remember? Rina smiled, then waved to me and left. Oh. With my shoulders bobbing up and down from breathing heavily, I entered the house. As soon as I got back in, Mom called out to me. What? Kichi, I'm sorry, but could you go to the library and return a few books for me? Huh? I don't feel like it. Your dad and I have to wait inside the house for a phone call right now, so we can't leave. I need to return them today. Could you do it, please? Sheesh. Did I have to do Dad's job? No point in arguing if they bring it up. I guess so, but I don't know where the library is. Oh, you don't? It's a little past Okinomiya Station. Just then the phone rang. My parents' faces immediately turned grim. Mom snatched up the receiver. Hello? Mabara-kun speaking. I'm sorry? Yes, he's right here. Then she thrust the receiver at my face. It's for you, Kichi. Don't take too long, okay? Tried to ask who it was, but asking the person on the phone directly would be much faster. Hello, this is Shinozaki, while the younger one. Hello, the younger one. Is that, Shion or is that Mion? Hello, do you have time to talk right now? It was Shion. The older sister had a hangover, but the younger one made no reference to it. Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover same as Mion. What? Mion had a hangover? That's so like her. She laughed warmly, but Mom glared at me silently, telling me to finish up. Oops, sorry. My parents are waiting for an important phone call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? There's something I wanted to talk to you about, but if you can't talk too long, I guess that's that. You sound a little disappointed. What would Shun want to talk to me about? Now I was interested. And how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great. You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past it on my way to work anyway. Okay then, you know where I usually meet up with Mion? At that intersection where this small path from the Shinozaki house splits. Oki-chan, did I not tell you? I don't live at the main house in Okinomiya. If we could meet by the ticket machines at Okinomiya station, that would be great. Main house? Living in Okinomiya? Now that she mentioned it, it's always seemed like the Shinozaki sisters weren't commuting, they live in different houses. Also, now that she mentions it, Rina said she'd never met the younger sister despite going over to place sometimes. Let's meet at the station then. I'll go right there, right now. Bye. Set the receiver down and Mom immediately thrust a large pile of library books in my face. 6 volumes of long-form mystery novels. Mom had her own hobbies. Thank you, Kichi. Be back by nightfall. Got it. Okay, I'm going. I suppose I'll change my clothes and grab my bike key. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom. Shion had been waiting for me already, so meeting up was a smooth process. Well, Mion, never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Ha 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 ha. Make my sister the standard for everything, get you in trouble. Hmm? Shion seemed a little unsteady too. She was drinking with Mion last night, wasn't she? You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try and hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I've been at home all day in the first place. I'm smarter than Mion after all. Hey. I don't think you can play hooky smarter. Playing hooky smarter. You should finish your errand first. We don't have much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. Mom had to return some books today. Is the library far? No, it's really close by. As she said that, we spotted the signboard for the library almost immediately. If it was so easy to find, then I guess I didn't really need Shion to show me around where it was after all. We rode around a bend and the building was right there. Ba-ba-da-ba. Shinobone Public Library. We lived in this country, so I hadn't expected too much, but it was pretty big. The first floor was actually a government office, so the library was only on the second floor, but it still looked large enough to fit a decent collection of books. We passed through the automatic doors and were greeted by the cool breeze of an air curtain. Okay. The cicadas had been loud outside, but it was quiet inside the library. The air conditioning inside was keeping the temperature at an ideal level for the books, which had that mildew smell unique to old paper. I guess every library is basically the same. If there is one difference, it was that the people studying for tests weren't taking up all the seats. I was one of those people, but now that seemed like a distant memory. Hello, I have books I would like to return. The librarian went through the process of checking them in, then returned my mom's library card. Shion was going around the bookstore with a deeply interested look onto her face, like she wasn't the type who went to bookstores very often. Sorry for the wait. I'm all done. Da 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 da. Libraries sure are nice and cool, aren't they? I want to work in a library some one day. Don't know whether to call that boring or dependable. It's a small dream compared to your sister. Mio would definitely want to be a hard-working employee for an international trading company, or some crazy job that involves her running all around the world. Compared to that, what Shion said is pretty heartwarming. Well, We do need to keep our differences dear to us. We're not copies, we're two different people called Shion and Mion. Twins have a lot to think about, huh? So it sounds fun. I don't have any brothers, so it's just me and my parents at my house. It can get a little uncomfortable. It's the same for me. I don't live with Mion after all. Oh right, she said something like that, didn't she? Why though? Sisters living apart is unusual. We were getting tired of talking while we were walking. We ended up going to the lounge area, which was vacant, and continued the conversation. Ahahaha, yes. Mion lives at the main house and I live in Akinomiya. What do you mean by main house? Make it sound like you're nobility. It's just the main house. Shinozaki family's main house. Mion's the successor, so she lives with Nana and apparently studies all sorts of things as preparations to be the head of the family. Mion's the head of the family? Kind of fits her personality, but kind of didn't too. Ki-chan, you just moved here, right? This will sound like I'm boasting, but we of the Shinozaki family are kind of prestigious around here. Huh? Seriously? The word prestigious didn't really match the extremely sociable air that Mion and Shion gave off. From what Shion explained, the Shinozaki family goes way back to the beginnings of Himizawa after the war. They had a bunch of successful ventures and extended their influence to a wide area. The Shinozaki house is a foundation under which the entire family cooperates. Though the current family head, grandma, was the one who built it, the entire family would provide backup to help one relative with a business venture. They were like a huge living company. This let them avoid tax-related problems and help relatives' ventures succeed one after another using large amounts of money. If you ever go for a walk through Akinomiya, pay attention to the signboards and stuff. There's a ton of shops that are managed by members of the Shinozaki family. Now that you mention it, Toy Store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean your relatives operate Angel Mart too? Even what few shops I was familiar with were involved with the Shinozaki family was definitely surprising. The family is particularly strong in finances and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chambers of Commerce and the industry either have the last name Shinozaki or are their relatives. There are Shinozakis in the city council and Prefectural assembly too, as they have the Akinomiya area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. My relatives operate shops in downtown Akinomiya and they especially strong in finances and real estate. Top of that, a lot of those in chambers of commerce and industry are relatives, and there are even people elected to local offices. So then, the Shinozaki family is pretty famous in this area. Yes, it's crazy. Nufufufufu, why is Ushi here? All of a sudden, a cigarette smoking overweight old man interrupted our conversation. Wait, I know this guy. Hello. Good afternoon. Are you on a date today? Oh, what I would give to be young again. If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us, Ushi-san? That was it. It was Ushi, a police officer. I thought was the person who came to my rescue when I got involved with those delinquents before. Now that I thought about it, Mion didn't seem to like me very much. No, I apologize. I heard a familiar voice. I just came over to see. Ushi-san laughed coarsely, not showing any sign of giving up. As Mion watched him do so, I didn't feel the same sense of malice from her as I had from Mion. Shion did so. Mabara-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Shinozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. I turned around to look at Shion and plead for help, but she grinned and maintained her silence. Her gaze wandered. She looked at the clock. I'm sorry, Q-chan. I really need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, did you? Wait, didn't Shion have something to talk to you about today? Now this weird man is here though. Yeah, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be, okay to call at night, right? Yeah, probably okay. Then I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Bye-bye. Shion left so fast she was practically running. Ushi was waving at me with a grin. I feel like I've been left here as bait so she could get away. Maybe she was lying about having to go to work. You're quite the big shot being so close to the Shinazaki daughters. Maybe I should rethink how I talk to you. Nufufufufu. Ushi-san put a coin into a vending machine as he said something a bit appealing. Is iced tea okay with you? Do you want milk with it? Huh? Oh, no, I'll put some in then, alright? Here you are. He handed me a cup of tea filled to the brim with ice as I looked on absent-mindedly. I don't think I'm obligated to have a guy like this buy me a drink, but he didn't get it for me, so I'll thank him. Was Ushi-san just killing time? We didn't know each other well, but he still engaged me in a conversation about all sorts of dumb things. When I thought back to how I talked to Shion, this seemed like a total disaster. Mabara-san, how much you know about about Shinozaki-san? Other than what I just heard, nothing. Until then, I hadn't known anything about either Mion or Shion, other than the fact that they were interesting. I really did only just learn that she was the daughter of some prestigious family. Shinozakis are a Yakuza group with the entire region under their thumb. Plus, her father is a high-ranking executive in the XX Yakuza Association. Did you know that? What? An executive? Have you ever seen where Shion-san lives? It's a picture of a gang boss's house, protected by high walls, barbed wire fence, and security cameras. If you have the chance, you should go and visit her. She's mentioned Mian being a successor, but to a Yakuza group? No. Not at all, not at all. A boring old Yakuza group isn't the only thing Mion Shinozaki will inherit. She's inherited the Shinozaki family itself. I'll leave it to you to mull over exactly what that means. Yushi-san had spoken slyly about all this from start to finish, but what he was saying wasn't light in the slightest. It was abrupt and unbelievable. If Mion-san wanted to, she could kill somebody in the middle of the street and still cover it up. Not only would witnesses not show up, but she would put pressure on the police too. Mion-san would never kill someone. Nah, ha, she wouldn't. I'm just speaking hypothetically. Your name was Ushi-san, right? Yes, that's right. Then Ushi-san, whatever family Mion comes from, it doesn't change the fact she's the best friend I could ever have, and I'm proud of that. I don't appreciate people speaking ill of her. I let my quiet anger show through my gaze as I stared at him. Of course, I could never seem to tell what he's thinking, so I didn't know if it had any effect. Then, let me be frank, if Mion was suspected, of a handful of incidences, what would you think? Huh? Suspected incidences? You can't say terrible things like that on a whim. Then, it would be a misunderstanding, of course. Mion may say some dangerous things, but she's not the kind of person who would do such awful things. Murata-san, keep your voice down. We're in a library. Ushi-san shushed me. But in a state of heightened excitement, as I was, I wouldn't calm down easily. Please calm down. As I said before, the Shinozaki family holds a lot of power in this region, for better or worse. So if anything happens, they would immediately be suspect. I'd appreciate it if you understood that. Well, I know what Ushi is trying to say. Combining it with what Shion told me before, the Shinozaki family is huge. It controls everything from Himazawa to Akinomiya. Meanwhile, is his successor, who apparently holds strong influence over the entire family. Still, that's all. That's the only reason they're suspecting her? I'm just doing my job here. Not to doubt Mion-san or anything, but to clear up suspicions surrounding her. Please think of it like that. You could talk like a dog, out of a meat truck. What a weird thing to say. He was the definition of skewed, unfair adult. At this point, I began to think that it was no coincidence that I met him. Ushi-san, do you need something from me? Yes, I do, Kichimabara-san. He answered in an absent tone. Mion's being suspected of something, and you came to hear from a friend of hers. Is that it? No, that's not it. I didn't come to talk to a friend of Mion Shinozaki-san. I came to talk to you, Kichimabara-san. It would probably have bothered you had I visited your house. To me? What did the police want with me? I hadn't realized this fake coincidence meeting had me as its target, my mood immediately turned foul. Nah ha 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 ha. You don't need to be so tense. Calm down. Just answer a few questions. Am I being questioned? Let's call it a chat with a guy you happen to run into. Ifufufufu. Ushi-san freely suggested that I relax. That said, behind his eyes was a light, which I could only see sometimes, that was sharp as a fork. If I tried in vain to run away, he might actually take me in and bring me to an interrogation room or something. That was an unbelievably unpleasant thought. You had a roaring good time at the Watanagashi festival last night, didn't you? Don't be around the bush, please. I can't do small talk right now. Last night during the festival, did you see Gio Tomitake-san and Mio Takano-san? Gulp. I could plainly feel myself, give a start. Where did I put those pictures? Oh, here they are. He opened a snow notebook and removed 2 photographs. I didn't have to look. Well, who knows, I might have seen them around, I don't remember. I was asked the same question for the second time today. I gave the same answer for the second time too. Huh? Your memories are blurry? You couldn't have possibly been drinking or something. Foo 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 foo. Here too, I got the same answer I had from Mion. I realized he wasn't taking my vague reply well. Why is he asking me the same thing Mion did? The dark being I had nearly forgotten due to my conversation with Shion came rushing back in a hurry. We snuck into the sacred ritual stoolhouse, a punishable act. It was on a tiny impulse. While it may not count for much now, I do feel sorry about it. I'll ask you again. Did you see Gio, Tomitake-san, and Mio Takano-san at the festival last night? His tone was soft, but there's a dreadfulness in his voice, clearly different from the first time he asked. I'm scared. That was exactly how I felt. Even if you repeat the question, my answer won't change. I really don't remember. There wasn't any a better answer I could give him. I didn't have the balls to say I didn't see them, nor the courage to admit I had. I see. I just thought that maybe I would get a different answer if I asked for a second time. Just get to look Uchi-san in the eyes. I'll change the question. Come, Mabara-san. Relax, relax. Uchi-san grabbed my shoulders and squeezed them as he was trying to give me a massage. It almost hurt though. Still, why was he asking the same thing as Mion? If he's asked the same thing, then the question must be... Now at the festival, did you see Shinozaki-san? Clatter, clatter, clatter. I wonder what that sound was, and when I looked down, I saw that it was the unmelted ice in the cup I was gripping in my hands. Yes, you did see her. You saw her with Milan and everyone else. My hands were trembling, rocking the ice back and forth. Realizing that, I hastily put the remaining ice to my mouth and crunched down on it. Sorry, I may have seen her, but you know she looks just like Mion. I might have just mistaken the two. Nah ha ha ha, but that can't be. Suddenly, Ushi-san grabbed both my shoulders and hunched down to give me a level stare. This must be what it's like to be a deer in the headlights. I want to look away, but I can't. This is the first time I've experienced such a piercing stare. Mion-san and Shion-san were wearing completely different clothing. You wouldn't mistake the two so easily, I would think. Mabara-san. His voice was harsh. Harsh, the same as when Mion said it. You feel my heartbeat quickening. When I realized he could feel it through the hands on my shoulder, I got even more scared. Why? Why are Mion and Ushi-san both asking about last night? Was sneaking into that storehouse so bad? Ugh. I shouldn't have let Takano-san talk me into it. Tomitake-san casually said to check it out too, so... Even Shion, if she had encouraged me, no, I understood. I was one at fault here. I shouldn't have let my curiosity get the better of me. I shouldn't have gone into the forbidden storehouse. Ushi-san. I think that's our cue to get out of here. A young man wearing a suit came up into the lounge. From the way he held himself, I knew immediately that he was Ushi-san's subordinate. Huh? Oh, so it is. Closing time already. I didn't realize it until he said something. The jingle and announcement telling Patriots the library had closed and started playing without me realizing it. I was so irritated, so overwhelmed that I couldn't even hear it. Well then, Mabada-kun, we're out of time, so allow me to take my leave. I'll like to talk with you, more about this at your leisure when we have more time. This isn't a joke. If I never saw him again, it would, be real soon. Mishi-san followed his subordinate and left the lounge behind him. Unlike Ushi. Yeah. However, he spun back around. Alright, Mabada-san. What? What is it? Those two questions I asked you before. You don't remember well enough to answer either of them, correct? You're right. Just so you know, you saw them all yesterday. You were walking along, the four of you, having quite a pleasant time near the stone steps. I saw you with my own eyes. Ugh. I caught my own breath, and my heart seemed like it was about to stop. What, detestable person. He knew, and he was testing me. We'll meet again. I think you should just keep denying it. Or just say you don't remember still. Have a good day. Have a good year. I sat there like a rock, unmoving, until I could no longer hear the clacking sounds of their footsteps. Higurashi, when they cry. I was on my way home. The cries of the Higurashi accentuated the already lonely evening. More time had passed than I thought. The orange of the dusky sky was being chased down little by little by an indigo color approaching from the east. Exhausted from the slow climb towards Himizawa, without even noticing I've gotten off my bike and was pushing it uphill. I don't understand any of this. Nobody has told me to my face that I've done something wrong. No. In fact, it might have been easier on me that way. What happened yesterday was really just my curiosity. It really was no more than a quiet prank. No more than having the courage to cross that red light. As long as you did it with other people. The storehouse for ritual implements, hallowed ground, only accessible to the families of the priests. For sure, I'd seen terrifying things I've never imagined would be there. Thinking on its own, though, it didn't matter what was stored away inside. It didn't make the wrong I had committed any more right. What the four of us did, Mion seemed to know about it. For some reason, even the police were trying to know what the four of us did. Did we do something so bad? Really? It doesn't matter how wrong it was, I did something wrong. It was no matter, it was nothing more than that, and yet, I couldn't accept it. I didn't apologize to Mion or Ushi-san. All I did was shield myself from, ambiguity. I, did something wrong yesterday. That's not the right word. I set foot into a forbidden storehouse for a little bit of mischief. I forgot everything I saw in there. I won't ever do something like that again either. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. If I apologize like that, will they forgive me? They will not forgive you. The evening cool, suddenly cool evening air left no room for such sentiments. However, as it mercilessly chilled my feet, urging me to head home as soon as possible, in the end the evening air was correct. If I trudged along such an isolated road, regrets would pile up on top of regrets, but nothing would change. Let's go home. I'll go home to go to my room and put on my favorite music or something, and then go to bed. That might sound plain and boring, but it's probably the strongest I've felt all day. Ugh. Now that I've made a decision, there's no point in dawdling in a place like this. I sat back on my bike. I pushed hard on my pedal, and I rapidly advanced forward. I steadily gained speed. The wind was cutting and mercilessly cold, but it actually felt good, as if it was trying to softly punish me. I'm in my room. I didn't eat much dinner before excusing myself early and returning to my room. Mom called me downstairs. Kichi, you have a phone call. I have a call it's from Shinzaki. Shinzaki, was it Mion? No, it's Shion. I just remembered. She, had something she wanted to tell me today. Ushi-san had interrupted her, so she didn't get the chance. Shion had said she'd call tonight. Hello? Huh? Is that Shion? Hello? Ran into a little bit of trouble, didn't we? She said it plainly that I got a bit annoyed. She's the one who left me there and ran. Don't say that. I gave you the signal to run away with me tonight. You just sat there and looked dazed, Kichan. I wasn't dazed. All of a sudden you left me there, and after that I had to put up with that Ushi guy for ages. Don't complain to me about it. I can't believe she passed it off like that. She looked just like me, and yet inside she's this different. I got a little irritated myself when I realized I was somehow in my mind hoping for the same reaction I would get from Mion, even though she's a different person. Sorry, next time I'll run away first thing and leave you there. Hey, it's ladies first, ha 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 ha. Shion laughed refreshingly. When I heard her voice, I realized that she wasn't really angry or anything. It was just as she said. The cause of her temper was because it was my fault for not leaving immediately. Okay. I'll stop blaming it on others. Da 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 ba ba da. Blaming on others would be. Anyway, you had something to tell me, right? Oh yeah. I mean, if you already know, then it's not something that bears repeating. Do you already know? She lowered her voice suddenly, as if she was dancing around. I have no idea what could already know. Sorry, but I have no clue what you're talking about. At least give me a hint. So that means you don't know. She seemed to take my stupid-sounding answer as evidence. However, her voice didn't seem disappointed or exasperated in the slightest. Actually, it's about last night during the Watanagashi festival. My entire body jolted as I was assailed by a terrible feeling. Is Shion gonna ask me the same thing? Hello? Kichan, are you listening? Yeah, I am. Well, what about last night? Your force went in there, right? You shouldn't be around the bush. When, whatever or not I wanted to admit it, that was the actual honest truth, and I couldn't act like it hadn't happened. Then after that, we walked away together, and then we went our separate ways near the stone steps, right? Takana-san and Tomitake-san went to the stream, and you stayed there, Kichan. I went over to see some relatives. Yeah, why do you ask? We won't make any progress if we keep asking each other questions, so let me ask the questions first, okay? You mean, did I see Tomitake-san and Takana-san last night? Huh? Oh yeah. Did you see the two of them after that? I'd be lying if I said I wasn't surprised. Ooh. This is the third time I've been asked this question today. Why? What the hell was going on? Why? Why are you asking me that? No, Kichan, I'm asking the questions. Please, answer me. Did you, Shion? If you answer first, then I'll answer. My shabby response betrayed how scared and small I felt. After everything that had happened today, Shion didn't say anything for a few moments. Just as I was beginning to think I'd finally put my foot in my mouth with that response, she finally answered, Of course I didn't see them. My relatives were with me, and they can vouch for that. I didn't see them either. People can vouch for me, like Mia and Vina and everyone else. Now that we knew our answers matched, she let out a sigh that sounded more relieved than anything else. Thanks for answering me honestly. Okay, then I'll tell you. Apparently last night, Takana-san and Tomitake-san died. Sorry, Shion, what was that you just said? Apparently last night, Takana-san and Tomitake-san died. Takana-san was found burned to death. Tomitake-san was, it looked like a suicide. I just found out this morning. I heard from my dad talking to relatives on the phone about it. Late last night, a police car on its way home from the festival, a security duty had discovered Tomitake-san lying in the middle of the road, heading towards Okinomiya. He clawed at his own throat and died. What? He clawed at his own throat? That bright and cheerful Tomitake-san committed suicide? That can't be possible, right? The pieces in an autopsy, he did it with his own fingernails. He scratched at his own throat so hard that he ruptured his blood vessels and he bled out. In a pool of his own blood, that's what they said. I've never heard of such an insane suicide. You can't just scratch at your own throat like that. I realized I was yelling loudly, so I lowered the force I was putting into my voice. I didn't want my parents to hear me, so I switched with the cordless phone and ran up to my own room. Sorry for yelling. So, was Tommy Takana-san was that a suicide too? In her case, it's a little unclear. Takana-san's body was found in the mountains of Gifu Province. Employees at a rest stop nearby reported to the police late that night that they could see flames in the mountains. The firefighters dispatched there were the first ones to find her. An autopsy concluded that it was the burnt corpse of a half-naked female. They initially considered the body beyond recognition, but directly after there was a request for a dental comparison from the XX Prefectural Police Station in Okinomi, and the results concluded that it was Mio Takano. The cause of death wasn't confirmed, but it was highly likely to have been a homicide, since she was in her undergarments and her clothes were nowhere in the area. The oil drum had fallen over, so it's also possible she burnt herself to death. It couldn't possibly have been a suicide. If you're going to die, there are plenty of easier ways, aren't there? This can't be a suicide. That's what I think. It's unthinkable that Takana-san would kill herself. Tomitaka-san would kill themselves too. Whenever the two of us frowned at each other, there was a silence as we paused to catch each other's breaths, and as we calmed our nerves, right then I understood what Shion's story actually meant. I think it will end up being Orishida-sama's curse. We all did more than enough to deserve it after all. Deserve? You can't be kidding me. It's not like I wanted to see it with me. I just went along with her. I tried to say that, but I fell in silence. Nothing would come from blaming others. It didn't matter how much everyone else encouraged me. I could have put my foot down. I lost my own half-assed sense of adventure and agreed to go in with them. Yes, it was my fault, no one else's. Shion, last night when we snuck into the visual storehouse, did you predict things would turn out this way? Of course not. I mean, I thought it was pretty risky, but I never dreamed something like this could happen. Shion's words were probably her true feelings. She knew she could get in trouble if we were caught, but that was the thrill of this little adventure. It's the same for me. Besides that, Ki-chan, think about it for a moment. Didn't Orishida-sama curse turn out a little strange this year? There's already plenty strange seeing as how Tomitaka-san and Takana-san died like that, yet two people died. Given all that, what could possibly be stranger? Two disappearances. I mean, they found two corpses. Remember what I said? Every other year, one person would die and one person would disappear. This year is the first two people have been found dead. That may be true, but that's not a huge deal, is it? It is, Ki-chan. Think about it harder. Listen, two people died because of Orishida-sama's curse. Then, in order to quell Orishida-sama's anger, two people would need to be sacrificed. Is that how it works, or what? Tomitaka-san and Takana-san died, so now two people are gonna be missing this year? I don't understand why, but when I said that, I felt a chill down my spine. I don't think anyone's been confirmed missing yet. I think that those two people have yet to disappear. Shion, like me, was obviously getting the same feeling cooling down her back. Two people have yet to disappear? Shion didn't answer. I couldn't say any more than that either. A chill crept in through my clothes and tried to wrap into a fist around my heart, cold hands feeling around on my chest. Neither of us could say anything. Tomitaka-san opened the lock and he died. Takana-san exposed the ritual storehouse and she died. If two more people were to be sacrificed, then there would be none other than the ones who entered with them, none other than us. No. This has to be a joke. It's a joke? I wanted so much for her to pass this off as a joke, even now. But that was such an incredibly difficult and selfish request. If Tomitaka-san and Takana-san had died in a common way like a car accident, I could tell myself as a coincidence. Instead, he caught his own throat and she burned to death. And and she burnt to death drowned in oil in the mountains. The two deaths were so out of the ordinary that I couldn't possibly dismiss it as a mere coincidence. It was as if, in exchange for sneaking into the ritual storehouse, there must be somebody punishing us, some sort of cruel will working behind the scenes. Even so, I still didn't want to accept that terrifying truth. If I did, then I would have to acknowledge that horrible curse crisis was going to near for me and Shion and me. That's why I argued against it. I argued knowing I was running away. In the first place, it's not even the newspaper, is it? Such a monstrous incident would be all over the newspaper and television. Magazine writers would flood the village too, thinking it'd make it for an interesting story. Didn't it just happen yesterday? Of course it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past too. When the incidents occurred for the third year in a row, there was some third-rate magazines that sniffed out the story and ran issues full of gossip columns and about Himizawa. Even though the region would develop a negative stigma, they negotiated with the preference and the police. Since last year, it became a big conspiracy where no information about the incidents was allowed to be leaked to the media. I heard the elders and the top brass from the Shinozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police. Then you mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy? That's how it is. Of course the police are investigating it. That's being performed in secret too, though. So I heard the investigation itself is very restrictive in what they can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation. The story was unbelievable. People died and yet they didn't publicize it and dealt with everything in secret. If we could break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of the Watanagashi, it won't go public. That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard. Chi-chan, before I said how the village could be the ones carrying out Orishida-sama's curse, that's what I meant. At some point a tradition was created here in Himizawa, where every year you're allowed to kill someone on the night of Watanagashi under the guise of it being Orishida-sama's curse. When somebody dies on the night of Watanagashi, it turns into Orishida-sama's curse. The curse turns into severe murder instances. In order to avoid exacerbating the negative stigma surrounding Himizawa, those incidences are dealt with in secret. That's insane. Dead and missing people turn up every year. However bad the stigma gets though, police had to draw the line somewhere, don't they? You could say that the incidences happening every year is mysterious, but the police can get the job done when they need to. After all, the incidences always get resolved individually. It doesn't end up being a string of incidences, you know? Okay. So is this chapter gonna be like more human-sided then? You know, it just so happens that something unfortunate happens on the night of Watanagashi every year. Because like you were saying this, and earlier in this chapter, we got told that the Shinozaki family has like a lot of power, and they control basically everything. It just so happens that the Watanagashi that's all it turns into. Most of the criminals responsible for the original dismemberment were arrested. The last one managed to get away, but the events were totally exposed and allocated, so it was in essence resolved. I'm supporting a couple who died in an accident on the second year. That was an accidental death, plain and simple. They made an investigation into the possibility of it having been a homicide, but they didn't turn up anything. It ended up as an accident. It was resolved. On the third year, the priest fell ill and passed away. There was a doctor present at the hospital at his deathbed, and they all had trustworthy medical certificates. They even did an autopsy. It concluded that it wasn't a homicide. That was resolved too. On the fourth year, the sister-in-law of the Dam Supporting Project couple was murdered. The criminal was an abnormal man with a history of regular psychiatric usage. Psychostimulant usage. He confessed that he thought of Orishida-sama's curse was so interesting that he wanted to try it out. The criminal died of an accident while imprisonment, so this incident was essentially resolved as well. That's right. None of the incidences had any relation to another, and each was independently resolved. So then, why does an unfortunate coincidence occur every year on the night of Watanagashi? You can say You can try and say it's a string of related incidences, but they're not related. It's every year somebody always dies and somebody always disappears. Story Takana-san told me on the day before during the setup. Now that the curse really had occurred this year, I couldn't just laugh it off. Then does that mean it'll come for us too? Just like how one person dies and one person disappears every year, are you saying we'll be taken alongside with Tomitech and Takana-san and erased too? Bam bam bam. My lips had at some point become difficult to dry, and just saying that was difficult. Shion didn't respond. The silence, however, was the clearest form of confirmation she could give me. Sure, we went somewhere we shouldn't have, but we were just looking, right? We didn't steal anything or take anything, and we didn't tell anyone that we looked, right? I was already regretting having committed such a wrong. Even so, was it really so bad that Tomitake-san and Takana-san deserved such cruel deaths? Besides, I didn't really care about anything I saw in there at all. Takana-san was the only one getting so happy over it, wasn't she? Takana-san was the only one at fault. I didn't have anything to do with this. I'm not interested, I'm not involved, don't give a shit about what was in there. I knew saying so wouldn't solve anything. I could feel myself, my cold self, in the innermost depths of my heart, disgusted at my pointless howling. However, my emotions had broken through the dam, and I couldn't stop them anymore. I didn't have any interest in any of this from the start, damn it. What I wanted to do was watch Rika-chan's performance. You were the one who pulled me away from that, weren't you, Shion? I don't give a rat's ass at whatever those two were trying to steal something or to me up secretly or whatever. That's right, you're the one who made me go in there in the first place, Shion. You were all Keith-chan. Oh, well, that was a lot. You need to see what's inside, and you convinced me, then pull me in. Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you going to do, damn it? How are you going to take responsibility for this, huh? Hey, are you listening? Click. Without any warning, the phone cut off with a soft sound of a receiver being slammed down. Shion, what? Just as terrified as I was. I just said something really self-centered things. Some really self-centered things. My relative promotion disappeared as if they never existed, and in that place surged waves of deep regret. It hung when my mouth so irresponsibly. I could try to call out Shion's name from beyond the disconnected phone, but it was too late. What have I done? Shion was only trying to tell me as much as she could about the thing about to descend upon us. As for me, I could only whine like a child about it. I wanted to try to call her back, but then remembered she lived in Okinomiya. I didn't know her phone number, since I had declared. I keep clicking on the button over there. I didn't know her phone number since I had declared to Mion that I hadn't seen Shion last night. I couldn't just call me and ask her for Shion's phone number. I was too scared. I couldn't even call her back. I was sickened with hopeless regret. I returned the receiver to its stand and simply prayed that Shion would call me back again. Please, Shion, calm down and call me back. Ring, 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 ring. Hello, this is Mabada. I spoke to the receiver as though it wouldn't go through if I didn't grab it at the exact moment. Is this the Mabada residence? Excuse me for the late call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? It was the voice of a middle-aged man, whom I hope rushed out at me. No, it isn't. If you need Dad, I'll go call him. I went to put the receiver back down hurriedly, but the man stopped me. Oh, no, if he's busy, then it's fine. This may be a strange question, but is my old man paying you a visit? No, nobody's here at the moment. I see. Again, I apologize for calling you so late at night. Goodbye. Black. I don't know who that was, but what if Shion tried to call me while I was talking to him? I thought, bubbling with, egoistic anger. Hey, wait. Give me a break, Kichimabara. These are self-centered thoughts that made Shion mad at me, aren't they? The more I thought about it, the more I thought about Shion. I had given up hope in this short time we had our conversation and didn't want to call anymore. Calm yourself, Kichimabara. If Shion does call, then first apologize in a calm voice. If you do that, then Shion should understand. However, no matter how much I waited, the phone didn't ring again that night. Is that the important phone call? I don't think it was. Higurashi, when they cry. Tips, 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 tips. Yeah, I think I was holding the control key by accident. Achievement. From the scrapbook. 7? No, I think it had 6 again, but it's probably 7. The significance of Watanagashi. Watanagashi is a festival of hunting for sacrifices and feasting on them. While the festival itself is remarkable, it has come to be considered a form of entertainment as well. Perhaps it was because of the disparity between being both an atronous act and a form of entertainment that the perpetrators began to believe themselves transcendent. However, I found some very interesting literacy that appears to raise questions about that explanation. As with most oral traditions, it's not easily swallowed, but it does mention a few things that spark my interest. According to the literacy, even the residents of Onigaushi felt a fear towards this ritual. Women and children would grow pale and tremble, and those of weak constitution would vomit, but it's said that the dissection was an obligatory viewing. This is an extremely curious tale. Until now, I thought that the residents of Onigaushi were fascinated by the Watanagashi ritual. I looked down the vulgar barbaric human cut them open like fish. By eating them, they affirmed that their own holiness. At least that's what I had thought. However, if what the villagers gained from this ritual was not fascination but fear, then that would suggest the ritual meant something entirely different. There's a possibility that the executioners were meant as warnings, encouraging the villagers to strictly follow religious precepts created by those with power for their own conveniences. Onigaushi village has been effectively ruled over by the 3 families called the 3 families. Without investigation, the 3 families are probably won't get any closer to the truth of Onigaushi village. This is what's her face's notes, right? Not Tomitake, Takano. 6. Okay, 7. Three families. The 3 families refer to the 3 old families who effectively came to rule Onigaushi village. To break it down, there was the Kimiyoshi family, the Furudu family, and the Shinozaki family, and each of them still exists today. Though they don't have as much control as they did in the remote past, they still hold considerable influence today. The 3 families are considered by legends to be those in whom the blood of the swamp demons run through the thickest. The Kimiyoshi family. The Kimiyoshi family appears to have held great power as the head of the 3 families, but it doesn't have that kind of leadership today. The current mayor of the village, Kishishiro Kimiyoshi, is from this family. The fact that members of the Kimiyoshi family are elected as mayor every generation is thought to be a remnant of the old system. Of course, as no rival candidates appear, it doesn't change the fact that the Kimiyoshi family holds the mayoral office, even through popular election in the post-war era. The Furudu family, the center of the religious faith since ancient times. The Furudu family has guarded the sole shrine dedicated to Orishiro-sama. They were worshipped as the only people to represent the voice of Orishiro-sama for a long time, but the family branched off after the war and lost most of its power. It now consists of only the main house. The main house, as well as presently, consists of only one daughter, Rika Furudu, so the lineage may end in this generation. There is apparently an old tradition of honoring females of the Furudu family, so the only daughter, Rika, is the subject of much respect among the elderly of the village. The Shinozaki family, it's said that this family has a certain police-like role of protecting the village's prospects of Onigaushi village. Of the 3 families, their relatively weak position can be seen from me putting them here last. Of course, today the Shinozaki family is flourishing, and the state of affairs among the 3 families had completely reversed. Even now, one could say that they are in control of Himizawa. The 3 families conferring with each other is similar to the old ways the common heads of the Shinzaki, Oreo, especially decades, all of the ongoings of the village by herself. And last one, a late night phone call. It's about Shion, or the one I just got after that. Or what kind of phone call? Excuse me for the phone call. I'm Kimiyoshi. Is this the head of the household? Yes. No, no, not at all. Thank you very much for that. Yes. Well, you see, I do apologize for calling you at this hour, but I was wondering if my old man has visited you at the moment. You got that right? Yes. Once again, I'm very sorry for calling you so late. Goodbye. Click. So, no good? I'm not sure what to do. He may be passionate about it, but he always at least gives us a call. You called everyone he plays Go with, didn't you? Ring. Hello? This is Kimiyoshi. This is Shinazaki. How did it go? Have you found the mayor? Oh, Mions-chan. I called everyone I could think of, but I came up with nothing. We can't find him. What do I do? What could he be idling about? I put a word in with a bunch of people who might have an idea, but nobody did. I asked Nana about it, and she said, we should, get the men of the village together to search for him. At this hour? I mean, it's not like he's definitely gone missing. Watanagashi just happened, so she thinks we should be a little more cautious. We, if we still can't find him, then we'll notify the police tomorrow morning. Whether or not we find him, though, we should refrain from making any false accusations. Oreo-san said that? Yes. If you can't trust her without hearing her voice, then I can put him on for you. No, 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 that's fine. I understand. We'll get the men together and search. If we can still find him, then we can notify the police in the morning. She'll leave it to you and she'll leave it to you to organize the men. I'll be there as well as Nana's representative. Thank you. I'll get everyone together immediately. Thanks. I'll talk to you later. Da 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 ba da ba. That's the chapter then. So yeah, that was it for this time. So chapter 8. And yeah, bye bye. Bye bye.